As the Trump administration tries to block Congress and Congresspeople from going into federal detention centers to provide the oversight that they are obligated and constitutionally mandated and federally law mandated to provide, as they block it, requiring a brand new lawsuit to have to be filed by Democracy Forward, representing 12 different members of Congress. Maybe I know the reason why they don't want to let the Congress people in, and why it's going to have to take another federal trial judge with courage to order them into these facilities, is because many of them are death traps, and worse. There's new reporting coming out of The Guardian that in one particular, and we can multiply it under the cockroach theory, you see one, you know you got a dozen. In one particular facility near Albuquerque, it is not only a killer jail where 18 people have died over the last 10 years, but ICE is detaining people in a place that the FBI is investigating as running a drug smuggling ring, that the private jail that runs this facility, its employees are participating in. You've got drug trafficking and smuggling with a company, in this case, Core Civic, that paid to play. They donated millions of dollars to Donald Trump's reelection through PACs for his inauguration in order to get more and more and more contracts to house human beings in killer jails where their employees are running drugs. I'm Michael Popak. You're on Legal AF. Let me put the stories together about the new lawsuit and about this new reporting coming out of The Guardian, which now explains to me why they want to keep the scales on our eyes and keep the shade drawn about what's happening in these ICE detention centers. I'm not even talking about Alligator Alcatraz with 1,500 people being kept in unair-conditioned dog cages by the combination of the Trump administration and the Florida administration of Ron DeSantis. I'm just talking about the new reporting coming out from The Guardian about Albuquerque or near Albuquerque. There is a new lawsuit that's trying to stop all this and to get members of Congress into these facilities. Remember that at the top of the Trump administration, they arrested and is indicted and are prosecuting Representative MacGyver out of New Jersey for doing exactly that at the Delaney Hall Federal Detention Center in New Jersey. And they arrested Mayor Baraka as well, though they dropped those charges. This new suit, which I'm actually going to be, I'm having Democracy Forward's executive director, Skye Perryman, is going to be talking to me on Monday about this case. This case she's brought on behalf of a dozen different congresspeople. We've got Representative Neguse, Espaillat, Thompson, Raskin, Jamie Raskin, Robert Garcia, Luis Carrera, Jason Crow, Veronica Escobar, Daniel Goldman, Jimmy Gomez, Raul Ruiz, and Norma Torres, all in their capacity as members of the House against Homeland Security, ICE, Trump administration, and the rest. And they've just filed it in D.C. I'll have Skye Perryman on, a little bit of a spoiler alert, on Monday to talk about this case. But they are going through all the ways that these various plaintiffs have standing because they've all attempted and been rebuffed from getting into these detention centers to check on the conditions. I mean, we're going to have humanitarian organizations from around the world coming in to look at our detention centers in the United States of America because they are depraved, they are cruel and unusual. And they also violate aspects of federal law, including the law violation of the Administrative Procedures Act, which provides that ultimately the defendants have an oversight right, an oversight policy, and that policy cannot be violated by Donald Trump using federal dollars to block them from going into these facilities. Now, let me turn to what's going on with the new reporting in Albuquerque. You've got a facility in, and I apologize in advance for the pronunciation, but I haven't been there, Cibola County Correctional Center, the CCCC, about 4 hours about 4 hours away from Albuquerque in New Mexico. It's run by Core Civic. Remember that name, write it down. Core Civic. They're one of those private prison groups that invested so heavily in Donald Trump, right? Who influence peddled, who sold his influence in the pay-to-play scheme, with all of these companies donating to him in return for him creating a deportation and removal and arrest scheme to catch other human beings, to place them as inventory in Core Civic's dog cages. And they run these places, like the one that I'm talking about here, CCCC in New Mexico, is about 30% ICE detainees and 70% federal marshal. And it's going up. In fact, they promoted to the federal government and Homeland Security, perfect place to come, CCCC. We've got plenty of beds. That's what they call it, beds, dog cages, for other human beings to be used. They now own control 8 different facilities. This is a money-making proposition. Millions and billions of dollars at the back end of Donald Trump's depraved immigration scheme to catch and not release millions of people that are here as migrants or people that are trying to live the American dream. There's a small percentage that are criminals. It's like 20%. So go screen them out and put them in jail or remove them. But the rest, give them a path to citizenship. Every morning at 10 a.m., Stephen Miller, for the Trump administration, from his perch as deputy chief of staff, but really he's the head of everything domestic policy and immigration policy. He's the architect for this scheme. Every morning at 10 a.m., Stephen Miller, who when he was in high school thought putting people in cages was a good thing, holds a call with all the heads of ICE and Homeland Security and Border Control. And the sole topic is, how many of the 3,000 quota have you arrested? Every night, 56,000 detainees are picked up and put in these facilities. It is high money driving it. It is the prison Trump industrial complex. And Core Civic, having spent several $1 million to get Trump elected through their PACs, their employee forced PACs, donating money that the employees don't want to donate, their CEO, this is a company based in where? Boca Raton, Florida, Palm Beach County, Florida. What other criminal enterprise has an operation in Palm Beach County, Florida? You fill in the blank. Did you write Epstein on your card? Did you write Trump Organization on your card? Don't worry, it's not Jeopardy. You win either way. So you've got, what do you have here that we're exploring? You have the federal government opposing, Donald Trump opposing, letting Congress people into these facilities to protect private enterprise against the constitutional rights of Congress people to do their job of oversight, which required a filing of a new lawsuit, which I'm going to post up on Legal AF Substack. And you'll hear from Skye Perryman, the executive director of Democracy Now, on Monday. And she and I will have a good debate about what Democracy Forward is doing in a couple of new cases. But now you see the reason. Donald Trump cares more about the profit motives of private jail companies that gave him several $1 million than human beings. That's why we're hearing reporting now from The Guardian about a drug smuggling ring being run by guards that are employees of Core Civic. How does that not disqualify them in any other society run by any other president? How is that not a disqualifier? And all the Homeland Security spokesman had to say, because they're automatons, they're propagandists, all they had to say was, any claim, here's the comment, allegations that drug smuggling is taking place in the ICE section of the Cibola County Correction Center are false. Oh, so they are taking place in the federal marshal section? I mean, this is their defense. In fact, there has not been a single report of drugs within the ICE section of the facility. That's a lie. That's Tricia McLaughlin, Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary. You should be impeached when the Democrats take back power in the Congress come the midterms. She continued, any claim that there are, I love these euphemisms, subprime conditions at ICE detention centers. Subprime. You mean like alligator Alcatraz? You mean like the dog cages that people are living in without air conditioning, being overrun by mosquitoes, being overrun, no hurricane plan for these people? You mean that subprime position? Subprime like a mortgage? Subprime, suboptimal? You mean not appropriate for human beings? Any claim that there are subprime conditions at ICE detention centers are false. Ensuring the safety, security, and well-being of individuals in our custody is a top priority at ICE. What am I? Am I like waiting in line at Disney? Is this like some robot telling me some BS because I paid $100 to get in? I don't really understand. Donald Trump has made ICE, based on his new budget, his new bill that was passed, the number one most heavily funded law enforcement unit in U.S. history. If you add together the budgets of like the FBI and the CIA, ICE now surpasses it. And what are they using the money for? Bounties, $10,000 bounties. And ICE, some, not all, but some ICE officers are high-fiving each other after they abuse detainees because they're going, we're going to get that bonus. See, we're incentivizing corrupt and bad behavior and bad cop behavior because Donald Trump's in office. The tone is set from the top. I'm going to cover it all right here. Come back on Monday. Skye Perryman will be here talking about the new case she just filed on behalf of 12 different Congress people to get into facilities like the CCC, the Cibola County Correctional Center. And if you have any information from personal knowledge, from people, loved ones that are in there about the drug smuggling, contact me separately, Michael Popak here in Legal AF. So until my next report, this is Michael. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.